Honourable Member for Minto.
Madam Speaker, earlier this year, the Premier made further unfortunate comments about Indigenous Manitobans while at his mansion in Costa Rica. Within hours of his comments being reported in Maclean's magazine, the Premier's office was in full damage control mode. His staff obtained and then released to the media information about the number of charges under the Wildlife Act in 2016 and also the names and communities of many of those charged. Did the Attorney General authorize the release of this information to the Premier's staff?
Good question.
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I'm pleased to finally rise and answer a question from my critic. Madam Speaker, our Premier has worked harder in the last 10 months since he became Premier of this province than members opposite did in 17 years. And I will say to this member, of course, he was the previous Attorney General, the Minister of Justice in the province that created some of the most incredible backlogs that we're faced with today. That's why we're conducting a criminal justice system review to ensure that we get to the bottom of fixing the problems that were left to us by members opposite.
The Honourable Member for Minto on a supplementary question.
Yes, it'd be helpful, Madam Speaker, if the Attorney General could listen to the question. The Premier's staff were somehow able to obtain the names and the communities of Manitobans charged, not convicted, of a particular offence under the Wildlife Act, which was then quickly released to the media. We know the Premier's staff did not drive to every provincial court office and gather this information by hand that day. No. The question is, did the Attorney General authorize the release of this information to the Premier's political staff? And if not, who did?
Good question.
Order, please. The Honourable Minister of Justice.
I want to thank the member for his question, but of course he continues to just put false accusations on the record. And I know, Madam Speaker, that this member was asking questions trying to prolong interim supply yesterday. And of course, by doing so, all he is trying to do is prevent civil servants from getting paid further, and he's obstructing the very proceedings of this House. And I think that's unfortunate. And the member asked a question yesterday. He asked a question about the current adult jail population, and I would say that the answer to that, as of this morning, is 2,424.
See how easy it is?
Order. Order. The Honourable Member for Minto on a final supplementary.
Madam Speaker, the Premier's staff chose to release to the media the names and the communities of Manitobans charged with, not yet convicted of a particular offence. The only reason this was done was political management of the Premier's unfortunate comments. This batch of specific information will be contained in the PRISM database, which is used by Crown prosecutors. This raises questions about the independence of the prosecution service from the Premier's office. And I'll ask again very clearly, did the Attorney General authorize the release of this information to the Premier's staff? And if she didn't, who did?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I know the member opposite wants to continue along the lines with his smear campaign, Madam Speaker, but we know that why he doesn't want to ask the real questions of our criminal justice system, because he was in fact the Attorney General at the time for many years that created much of the backlogs that we're faced with today. But he had a chance to stay in the job and to tackle the very issues that Manitobans are faced with in the criminal justice system today. And what did he do, Madam Speaker? Instead, he quit.